Hey everybody, I've got this cool flip key from Volkswagen for this car. Let's go for a drive. So what I've got here is the 2017 Volkswagen Golf SportWagen in AllTrack trim. It's a little bit different than a regular sports wagon. It's got these trim pieces around the edges. It's got a little bit different height. It's 15 millimeters higher than a normal sport wagon. It's got an off-road suspension on it, and we've got these grayed out mirrors. It looks kind of cool. It's a little bit dirty right now, but it does look cool. It looks a little bit different than a regular Golf or a regular Golf wagon even. And it's got the AllTrack badges kind of here and there around the car. So let's take a look under the hood. A 1.8 liter engine. Nice and clean, easy to access. Your windshield washer fluid that you need, your oil. Actually really easy to access. Not so easy to close. Nothing really protecting your positive terminal. That's a little bit odd. Just a blanket. A blanket to keep it warm, I guess. And cool. One strut to save a little bit of weight. On the inside, full leather treatment. And actually one thing that's different and new for this year, I think, is the old school handbrake instead of the electronic one. Take a look in the back. Same thing. Nice seats. But the money shot is at the back of the car. The massive hatch opening, which is bigger than some SUVs. It's got the flippable storage. This is dual height for the storage cover, and of course you've got a nice cargo cover here that pulls out as well, covers to here. And to make it easy to load cargo, you've actually got flip seats right from the back, so you don't have to walk around to get to them. Also back here we've got a AC outlet, which is unique to the AllTrack, I believe, and a 12 volt outlet as well. Let's go on to the inside. On the inside, nice aluminum pedals and dead pedal. The AllTrack, which is a 4-motion all-wheel drive, it comes standard with a 1.8 liter engine, and it's got the DSG transmission, not the automatic transmission. Now, the DSG in this application is kind of odd because it doesn't have any paddles, which is what makes the DSG fun, right? It's got dual zone climate control here. The Volkswagen has this cool ratcheting armrest that as you ratchet up, it won't go further down. So you get, and then you go all the way to the top and it goes all the way down. So you get a nice armrest. It's got a little bit of storage inside there. Nice carbon fiber trim here in your glove box. And a gigantic panoramic sunroof. So let's start her up. Push of the button, fires up. Hopefully you can see this, but the new infotainment system from Volkswagen is pretty cool. It's got your fuel consumption on here, extended period since refuel. There's a whole bunch of other information. You can get traffic, weather, sports, movies, fuel prices. Pulled up the weather earlier. There's actually a whole map. You can look at it, and you can zoom in and move around and see what the weather is going to be like for the day if you forgot to do it before you left the house. Of course, it's got radio, satellite radio, and AM/FM radio. And you can connect Bluetooth media to it as well under your setup. And you can set up the sound, subwoofer. There's a subwoofer in the back, and adjust these. It's all really responsive and easy to use, and of course navigation. The AllTrack also, with the enhanced package, has park assist, which will help you park, but I really find it kind of useless. I can park faster than any of these systems can find a parking spot. There's a button for your parking sensors, and you can see on the screen here, you've got sensors front and rear. When you actually back up, camera flips from the back, parking sensors front and rear, and as you back up, it actually fills in the sides, so I guess it remembers what was there as you drove along, and then it'll actually show you in pretty good detail what's going on there. Have drive mode selection. So there's normal mode, sport mode, custom mode, and you can do a whole bunch of different settings for that. And then off-road. That was weird that it just went away. And off-road mode. And it actually shows you that in the center dash as well as on the screen. So you can do that while you're driving on the fly. On the steering wheel, there's a ton of settings that you can look at in the screen. Instead of looking forward, you can be looking at your range. It even tells you if your seat heater is on, and then there's more systems: lane assist, front assist, and that's actually the distance setting for the parking sensors. You can see your audio, what radio station you're listening to, and you can change the radio station directly in there as well, so it's pretty convenient. You can make phone calls, and there's no vehicle status. And you can see your navigation, and it will show your directions. And if you pick previously used locations and get a quick navigation to them without having to use the actual touch screen to do it. So let's go for a drive. First thing you notice when you get on the road is it's pretty darn quiet for a compact car. I mean, this is a compact car, but it's not inexpensive. The Volkswagen Golf's the SportWagen starts at $26,000, and this one is $38,000 with all the fancy features that it has. There is a little bit of road noise, but it's not overwhelming at all, and hopefully the camera can pick up some of the road noise, or none of the road noise, and then you'll know, or at least get some kind of idea of what it's like in the car. The suspension is somewhat firm, but not jarring at all. It's comfortable Volkswagen feel. Generally, their suspension has been similar for quite a while. If you're familiar with the Volkswagen brand, you'll know what a Golf feels like to drive. If you haven't driven a Golf or a Volkswagen or any German car, you should go drive one to actually get a feel for it. They feel quite different than a Japanese car or an American branded car. Driving around the city, there's not very much road noise. You can hear the engine a little bit as you accelerate, but it's not really intrusive at all. Of course, if you have the radio on, you don't hear the engine at all. It does produce 170 horsepower, which is plenty to get this car moving. It's a little 1.8, as I mentioned, turbocharged engine. We'll head out onto the highway and see what it's like on the highway. Tachometer is 1500 RPM, barely humming along. But there is some road noise. And let's see how fun it is in the curves. Get on this on-ramp and give it some beans. It handles way more than the average person could probably handle. Easily up to speed on the highway in seconds. So there's plenty of power on tap. And surprisingly, it's not any noisier on the highway, even at highway speeds. It's really quiet. There's a little bit more wind noise, but that's expected. Test out the handling on the off-ramp as well. You can carry quite a bit of speed around the corners easily, and it feels really balanced. Really like to kind of test the brakes coming up to a stop sign. Kind of brake last second, and yeah, no problem. And there you have it. This is 2017 Volkswagen Golf SportWagen AllTrack 4Motion.